Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily News. I'm Nicholas Richardson. Europe has been swamped by a wave of illegal migration for the past 10 years. How is the European Union dealing with this crisis? It is creating regulations which will only increase illegal migration, such as in the case of Directive number 1346, under which welfare for African arrivals from Asia is to increase. At the same time, more and more cases of illegal migrants are appearing throughout Poland. Eurocrats argue that their next directive will stop intra-community migration. Should help curb secondary movement of these people. EU Directive 1346 went into effect on the 14th of May this year. Under it, social benefits for illegal migrants are to be equalised in all member states. This means that migrants who end up in Poland will have more benefits than Poles, all from our taxes. This is an incentive for all those migrants who will want to get into Europe illegally, and especially those smuggling groups will advertise it perfectly. More and more disturbing information is coming out about illegal migrants. The Heine24 portal has published shocking photos. They show German policemen bringing illegal migrants into Poland. From the accounts of our witnesses, it seems that these people are of Middle Eastern origin. This is what they looked like. They unpacked these people, left them, and the police car drives away. The government side argues that this was a one-off incident. We already know that this was not the only such incident. I receive information from many residents of West Pomerania, also from people who deal with refugees, including at the Krosówek border crossing. Similar situations occurred twice. More and more disturbing recordings documenting the influx of migrants into Poland and their aggressive behaviour are appearing online. As a result, a councilman of the border municipality of Dobra sent an inquiry to the mayor. I asked whether, since he has been in office, any official inquiries have been received, either from the provincial office or perhaps from some other institutions, regarding vacant land or some places that could be earmarked to house migrants. And during the telephone conversation, I received confirmation that there had been such inquiries. This is not the first such situation. We have previously reported on a letter from the Podlasia governor seeking quarters for migrants. In 2026, the Migration Pact comes into force, under which member states must participate in the mandatory relocation of migrants or are to pay tens of thousands of euros for each unaccepted newcomer. Poland will be a beneficiary of the Migration Pact. United Right politicians have launched parliamentary inspections in the wake of increasingly disturbing news. MP Dariusz Matacki spoke to German police officers who directly admitted to sending migrants to Poland. Before answering, which is important, they called their superiors, and the superiors called Berlin, asking whether they could give such an answer at all. And they were given such an answer in a manner actually immediately. And what was the answer? The answer is that pushbacks from Germany to Poland are underway. On the day of the parliamentary elections, there was a nationwide referendum on accepting migrants. Donald Tusk and his political camp directly discouraged participation. Because of these actions, the vote did not reach the 50% turnout and was thus not binding. Poland therefore lost a strong argument in the European arena. Paweł Błoch, TV Republika. European Union environment ministers have approved an agreement on an EU law on nature conservation. Supporters of the new law believe they will help restore damaged natural habitats. However, many experts believe they will disadvantage farmers. It seems the Green Deal is holding firm despite protests from farmers across Europe, including those in Poland. The agreement commits member states to restore at least 30% of natural habitats, from forests, grasslands and wetlands to rivers and lakes, by 2030 and 90% by 2050. This regulation is one of the key documents for the introduction of the European Green Deal. It interferes in many aspects of our everyday life. We today are one of those countries where the state of nature conservation is at its best. Unfortunately, it is very often the case that it is the countries that have well-preserved nature at home that are subject to the greatest demands. The Green Deal, as well as a law on restoration of natural resources, is also seen as a threat to farmers who still intend to protest.
Donald Tusk wycofuje się po prostu ze swoich obietnic, tak? Przed wyborami.
Donald Tusk is backtracking on his promises. Before the elections, in order to gain support of farmers and non-farmers alike, he said there would be no flooding of areas because that's what the decision is about. Everything has been suspended. The election is over and we already have a reversal of this decision, and yet we are to flood. What is known will result in farmers having less land to grow crops, and as a consequence will result in higher food prices.
W konsekwencji spowoduje wzrost po prostu cen żywności.
Ktoś w biały dzień, w białych rękawiczkach
Someone in broad daylight in white gloves wants to bring about the fact that the food security of our country will be very much compromised and that we will be dependent on food that will be imported from other parts of the world.
Żywności, która będzie sprowadzana z innych części świata.
The Green Deal and its regulations are stirring up a lot of excitement across Europe, and implementing it comes at a great cost to the people. These include, among other things, the elimination of European officials' biggest enemy, carbon dioxide, a buildings directive that stipulates that all buildings in Poland should be converted to zero-carbon buildings by 2050 at the latest, and changes in the energy sector which will result in higher gas and electricity prices.
Będzie droższa żywność, tak? Bo pamiętajmy, na przykład
There will be more expensive food because let's remember that all the grain dryers are on electricity, greenhouses are on electricity and gas. This will simply make it more expensive. We need nuclear power so that there will be cheap energy, not only for farmers and industry, but also for the ordinary person. We are already facing electricity price hikes starting on the 1st of July, as the shield introduced by the United Right ceases to be in effect. The current government claims to have a solution for Poles. I can promise that energy prices will be accepted for almost everyone, and for those whom they will not be, there will be an energy voucher. What does this mean in practice, and who will be able to count on government assistance? It looks like few of us, and the energy price hike will affect almost everyone. The energy voucher, which will be a one-time payment, assumes an income criterion. However, the bill shows that, for example, a single pensioner with an average pension or a married couple with a child earning the national minimum wage will not receive the voucher. Despite promising in pre-election announcements, people in Poland will have more in their pockets. It will be cheaper in Polish stores, and it will be better in every Polish home. It looks like people in Poland will have to look deeper into their pockets. It will be more expensive in stores, and it will be very expensive to maintain a Polish home thanks to the European climate policy. Natalia Rzeczniczak, TV Republika. The state services will be able to eavesdrop on us. All this under the rule of the Civic Coalition, which even today questioned witnesses at the investigative committee on alleged unauthorised surveillance with the Pegasus system. Now a parliamentary extraordinary committee will take up a draft electronic communications law. The draft is expected to align belatedly Polish legislation with European Economic Communications Code. Internet users are sounding the alarm. Does this mean surveillance on an unprecedented scale? A new Polish law, the Electronic Communications Law, is supposed to give as many as 10 different services access to data from our conversations, from our instant messages. What is this supposed to look like in practice? And why is the government, which has talked so much about surveillance and accused its political opponents of doing it? Donald Tusk's government today intends to survey our cell phones. How far will this go? Today I'm taking a closer look.
Donald
Tusk would submit such a bill to the Polish parliament? This is impossible. And Szymon Hołownia? If he saw this, I think he would cry. This is truly unbelievable. The services will be able to eavesdrop, and this is under the rule of the Civic Coalition, which even today questioned witnesses at the Commission of Inquiry on alleged unauthorised surveillance with the Pegasus system. The course of the hearing is recorded with audio and video recording equipment. Now a parliamentary emergency subcommittee will take up a draft electronic communications law. The draft is expected to bring Polish legislation in line, belatedly, with the European Electronic Communications Code. Does this mean surveillance on an unprecedented scale? The regulations are changing in such a way that it is already 100% certain that the services will be able to track the location to the full extent. Until now, sometimes operators have denied such information. This shows that such data, which Law and Justice was under attack for collecting, at least in connection with the Pegasus system case, will now be the order of the day, as the law will allow such information to be obtained even without court approval. The telecommunications law was passed in 2004. In 20 years, technology has, to put it mildly, moved forward strongly. Regulations have not kept up with it. Will the telecommunications law now expose the instant messaging services we use every day on a golden platter? This is being monitored by, among others, the Panopticon Foundation, which specialises in data protection and privacy. It's not even about privacy per se, but that we need to be aware that anyone can become the object of the service's interest. If one sits next to the wrong person on a bus or contacts a journalist who is the object of the service's interest, one can easily end up at a fork in the road. The new regulations say that operators will be required to transmit the aforementioned electronic messages to selected services. Their number will actually increase to 10. Who will have access to the data? The police, the Internal Surveillance Bureau, the Border Guard, the Prison Service, the State Protection Service, the Internal Security Agency, the Military Counterintelligence Service, the Military Police, the Central Anti-Corruption Bureau, and the National Tax Administration. And what specific data will be transferred? What's new is the exact location, as mentioned in one of the articles of the proposed law. What data will the services get? According to the law, the services will be able to check any electronic communication, that is, for example, the content of messages sent and received, phone calls or websites visited.
Wczesna opozycja.
What the opposition did in the Pegasus case, making a fuss, was purely to make political capital. According to a recent ruling of the Court of Justice of the European Union, it is against EU law to give any data to the services.
W Polsce mamy.
In Poland we have, and not only since today, a problem with insufficient control over the special services. This was confirmed at least recently by the European Court of Human Rights in Strasbourg. In parallel with the expansion of powers, there should be an institution that not only, like a court at a chosen moment, but at any moment, could enter and check whether the services are violating the privacy of a Polish citizen. The same privacy that those in power have promised to guard. Edita Holdinska, TV Republika. Dutch fans said they were pleased about their team's late win over Poland in Group D at the European Football Championships on Sunday. They added that the game was tough with many missed opportunities. Striker Wout Weghorst came off the bench to snatch a late winner in his first touch and give the Netherlands a 2-1 victory. Weghorst had barely been on the field when he slid home Nathan Akker's perfect pass into the area in the 83rd minute to send tens of thousands of Dutch fans at Hamburg's Volksparkstadion into raptures.
It was more stressful than it should have been. Lots of opportunities, lots of chances. We were all waiting for a striker to come on the field, Wout Weghorst, and when he came on, he did exactly the job.
We need that last goal.
And he got the goal, that's it. But it's good, it looks good, lots of chances. So the Netherlands look good.
It was very exciting because 7 minutes before the end, we scored 2-1, and we missed a lot of chances in the first half. So it was very exciting, but we are happy, very happy.
Disappointed by the result, Polish fans say they are pinning their hopes on their next match against Austria on Friday.
I really didn't expect that as a team we will play so good, and then we have so many opportunities to score, and like Holland was better, one goal, but just have a hope for the next match.
It was great. Our players were playing very well, although they lost the game. But we are every time with them. We hope, of course, we will play next time with Austria and France. They are really strong competitors, but I hope we will win minimum one match. But we are proud of our guys because last time they were playing not so well. Now they proved that they improved their game. They play like a really good team.
Poland was missing their top scorer, Robert Lewandowski, with Adam Buksa stepping in and opening the scoring. That's the news. Thank you for watching. Stay with us for other programmes, but from me, it's have a good night and a better tomorrow.